Well, good morning. Thank you, worship team. That was a great set. This morning, I have Daniel Warner with me this morning. Daniel's been a member of our church for probably over a decade. He's part of our preaching cohort here at the church. He also is one of our ABF, Adult Bible Study teachers that has taught quite a number of times here at the church. He's a graduate of Gordon Conwell, is currently doing his doctoral ministry, right? Doctoral studies, yep. And he's a good friend. And this fall, Dan is going to be teaching a very unusual class. Dan also, by the way, is a chaplain. He's worked as a chaplain, and he's currently serving as a hospital chaplain at UConn, right? And this fall, we'll be teaching a Sunday school. Dan will be teaching a Sunday school called Numbering Our Days, Living Wisely in Light of Death. And so, Dan, I've been dying to ask you. It's killing me. What inspired you to teach a class on death? I mean, I can see teaching a lot of different classes, but a class on death, what inspired you? I'm dying to know.
Well, I spent about 7 years working in hospice as a chaplain, so I had a lot of experience interacting with people and connecting with them about issues in their lives and how it impacted the end of their life. And once I graduated from seminary, I thought, I think God's leading me to be a chaplain, but where? And the opportunity for hospice came up, and it was an amazing experience because, I'm just socially unaware enough to realize you're not supposed to talk about death in, normal conversation. And so I was able to engage with people in a way that was honest and open, and it just began moving from there. I'd say the inspiration for this class, though, is as I was reading Psalm 90, Moses is praying about God's grandeur. God has been our refuge. God has been our strength, and yet remind me that I am made of dust. And God is our powerful strength. He's our fortress. And he stops and he says, teach me to number my days, that I may have a heart of wisdom. And so he just stops altogether. God is able to be worshiped. He's powerful. He's amazing. Remind me that I'm going to die someday. Remind me from the perspective of eternity what my life is like today so that I can live well today. Because thinking about the end of my life is going to affect how I treat my spouse, and how I treat my son, and how I approach my work, or how I'm going to think about my faith in light of eternity that reorients my today. And so the Sunday school class really got born out of all of those things swirling together, and thinking about what are ways that we can live well today when we think about the end of our life. And so hopefully it's not going to be a class that's morbid, but it is a hard topic, but I think it's worthwhile because it's a conversation to engage our church. We're in a culture that is dealing with, germs and death. And, just by breathing, I could get sick, and it could be, allergies, or I could have 2 weeks left to live. And so these things are on our mind, and it's a good opportunity to stop, think about what it means to live well today in light of the fact that I'm not going to live forever.
Yeah, that's really good. I really like that because you're not just going to be talking about death per se, but how do we live in light of death, and how does that affect our lives and everything else? Well, we're in unusual times, Dan. How do you propose we go about teaching this class?
Well, as if talking about death wasn't uncomfortable enough, we're going to try to do it over Zoom. So that's going to make another layer of complication to it. But we're going to meet on Sunday mornings over Zoom, 7:15 to 9:30, so that if people still want to come into church, they can still get in here.
8:15, right?
8:15 to 9:30. Sorry. Was that only 15 minutes? Well, that's as long as we can talk about it. 8:15 to 9:30. It's going to be over Zoom. I'm going to create a 10-minute video just to have some thoughts at the beginning, and then the rest of the class will be discussion, process, thinking about these topics. I took a page out of the book of Dallas Willard, and in his book, Renovation of the Heart, he has 6 topics that he talks about what it means to be human. And so we're going to be thinking about things like What does it mean to care for our bodies, our thoughts, our soul, our feelings, our social context, our choices? What do those things mean in light of the possibility that our lives don't last forever? And we're going to be talking about what it means to die in America and what those numbers are like. And the final class will be thinking about what does it mean to care for somebody who's dying. And so just to think about all of those topics, we're going to do that over Zoom for 8 weeks, and should be a good conversation just to get the ball rolling. And I'm not a medical professional, I'm not a nurse, I'm not a doctor, but I play one on Sunday school. But you have the opportunity, I'm not giving you medical advice, I'm giving you ways to think about our faith in light of dying.
Yeah, so it's really a biblical approach to living and dying well. Yeah, very relevant topic. So that's great.